Okay, here for Unit 1 test corrections. So I'm going to go over how we did this again just one more time in case you didn't need to do corrections last time or you forgot. So on a piece of paper, you're going to rework each question you missed. And again, that means you have to show work, otherwise you don't get points back. You can't just write the right answer. You're going to get half of what you missed back. So again, if you missed 16, if you got 16 right, 16 points right, that means you missed 4 points. You're going to get half of that back. Yeah, those will be the points you get back on your score. I'm going to work out an example question here for each test question, and then you're going to go back to your test and rework yours. They are done the exact same way, except that they're different numbers. And I'm going to show you something with that in just a second. So once again, the problems I'm about to do are not the same as the numbers that you have, but they are done the exact same way. So you can watch how I do it if you need help, or if you can't understand why you messed up, you can go back to your test and then rework your problem in the exact same way with your numbers. So because it'll be kind of long, you only need to correct the ones you missed. So you can skip through the ED puzzle as needed by clicking on the little tabs along the time bar. So these little tabs down here, again, I'm going to make this a skippable ED puzzle. So this first tab will be number 1. If you're looking along the time bar right now and you need to correct number 1, you can click there. If you only need to correct number 10, that'll be the very last one. So just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hey, I need to correct number 5. You can click the 5th tab there, and it'll take you to that question. Just so you're not having to randomly click through the video and hope that you click at the part where I'm going through the question you need. Again, this will be the start of me going through number 1. This will be the start of me going through number 2, so forth and so on. So just count the tabs. So you only have to watch the sections of this video that you need to correct. Now, before we do that, I wanted to show you guys one thing. A couple of you guys did not listen to me or do not understand what I mean when I say that everybody's test is different. And I can tell that you asked somebody and you copied all of their answers because your numbers make sense in context but are completely wrong. And I would have no idea how you got them. So I want to show you guys, this is how I make a test in Canvas. Even just as an easy question like this. So what I can do is I create a little variable here. It says, how many overtime will Henry work if he earns X hours in a week? And then what I can do is I can say in Canvas, okay, I want X to go from this number to this number. And then I create a formula for how to do the problem. In number 1, all you had to do was take the hours, X, again, in this case, this was the hours, and take away 40, because 40 is regular hours, so minus 40 gives you the overtime hours. So it generates a list of possible numbers to plug in, and therefore possible answers. This is why, sorry guys, you cannot cheat on this test, because nobody has the same test. I do that for every single question. A list of numbers is generated with a bunch of different possible answers. So if you cheated off of somebody and were like, why did I get all of these wrong? They said they got all of them right, because it's a different test. So I hope you understand that now and you don't do that next time, because there's no point. You might as well leave them all blank because there is no point. So I hope you understand now. If you did not, that's how I write all of these questions. I make it so that it plugs in random numbers. So there's different answers. So let's go ahead and let's go through. This should be loaded by now. What happened here? Sorry, let me see if I can get this. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so again, from here, I'm going to go ahead and start number 1. So what's going to happen is the video is going to pause because we're going to reach the first tab, and it's going to say, here's number 1. Remember, you can click ahead, count the tabs for the questions that you need. If you don't need number 1, but you need number 4, go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Click that. You can go there and watch that portion. Okay, so for number 1, so again, my number is different. I have 48. Your number, you will notice, is different. However, you're going to do the problem the exact same way. So I will show you an example here. You will go to your test, and you will rework your problem with your number, but it's going to be done the same way. So guys, again, I can't emphasize enough, do the review. I know this question is phrased weird, but it's so easy. And if you had done the review, you would have been able to see the answer and be like, oh, okay, so that's what we're doing here. Or you would have been able to ask me. Do the review, guys. It will help you so much, believe me, because it says how many hours immediately. That's what I'm looking for, is hours, not pay. This is a number of hours, and I'm looking for hours. Now, I'm looking for how many hours over time. So what you needed to know for this question, what this question was testing you on was, do you know that 40 hours, no matter what, 40 hours is regular full-time hours. Therefore, all you had to do was take your hours given and subtract 40. And that's your answer. That's it, which is why I really hope you learned your lesson. You will do the review next time so that you see these easy questions and you can be like, oh, that is really easy. I can do that on the test. But if you don't do the review ahead of time, then you go in and you read this and you're like, whoa, that's phrased weird. What in the world am I doing? And I can't help you because it's a test. So go back to your test, look at the number of hours you were given, and then on your own paper, write it out. Your hours minus 40 equals, boom, there's your answer. That's how many hours overtime we worked. Okay, so number 2 now. So guys, I know for some of us, this phrasing just doesn't make sense to us. The idea you need to understand, again, is that this is a salary. What happens when you are salaried is what they tell you is how much you earn per year. So as a teacher, since I am salaried, when I got the job, they said, this is how much you will earn in a year. That doesn't mean I only get one paycheck to last me the entire year. They say over the entire year, you will have this much, and we are going to split it into paychecks. So what you had to think is, this is the year and we want the month. We're going from a year, 58,445, to a month. Yes, I understand the word month came first and then annual came afterwards, but we are given the year, which is why we put it first. You should have divided by 12 because it was a month. Yeah, guys, if you're looking at your answer and you have a bigger number than what they gave you, you weren't thinking. We only want to know, we have the year's salary that gets split into 12 months. You should have divided and not multiplied. So in this case, 4870.42 is the answer. Once again, guys, now from here, go back to your test. You saw me do it. Go back to your test and do it with your number. That's what goes on your correction. This number and this work does not go on your correction. So pause the ED puzzle, go back to your test, and do it with your number. But all you have to do is divide by 12. We have the year, take it to a month. Okay, number 3. So this one, we have to see what we're starting with. We are starting with biweekly. And again, the point of this is salaried, so she is going to get that check every other week. That's what biweekly means, right? And we want to know the what is the year. That's why we are going to a year, because we want to know that. What do we want to know? Yeah. So first off, you had to realize if she is receiving this every other week and we want to know how much she gets in a year, we need a bigger number, right? That's only one paycheck. You want to know the whole year. So you should multiply. The other thing, guys, now I know we know monthly, but this is biweekly. It's not 12. On your formula sheet, it's right there. 26 biweekly. It was right there on your formula sheet. We wrote it in our notes. That means you get 26 of those paychecks in a year. That's what it means by 26 biweekly periods. If you get a check every other week, you will get 26 in a year. That's what that means. So $13.99 times 26. So 36,374. So once again, now go back to your test, look at the number you had. All you would have had to do is multiply by 26. You can show that work on your paper. Okay, number 4. So this is the overtime question. So we focus on the total number of hours. Always, that's where you start. Total number of hours. Then always, the first number is 40 because, like number 1 tested you on, we know that regular 40 hours get paid like normal. It's the anything over that gets paid differently. So we're going to calculate the pay for these hours differently. So in this case, again, you'll notice you had a different number of hours. The overtime here, if I work 52, that's 12 overtime hours. Hopefully you can see 40 plus 12 gives me 52. So what I might recommend is do this question in chunks, go back to your test, see how many hours you got, and see if you can split it up. If you can do the 40 and what's left, and then come back and check. Because from here, we need to calculate these differently. Now, 40 is paid like normal. Once again, that's just regular hours. They don't get paid anything special. So this is 760. Now again, the thinking you want to have for whatever your overtime is. If they were paid like normal, we'd multiply by 19. If they were paid like normal, but they're not normal, they're overtime. What you had to remember is the number 1.5 for the overtime. Again, you get paid more on those hours, 1.5 times as much. And then you would add the two numbers together that you got, and there's your answer. So go back to your test. You're going to have a different pay and a different number of total hours. See if you can follow along with what I did using your numbers. Let me know if you need help. You can go back and rewatch this part as well. Okay, number 5, guys, again, this was another question where if you had done the review, this looks confusing. It's not. Literally all you do is take 1% and then you're done. Because it says she receives 15% commission. Now I know it says on. This is the same thing as of. It means the same thing. That's how commission works. Commission is a percentage of something. In this case, it's the total profit. And hey, look, it's right here. This is the total profit. Sometimes you will have extra information. It did not matter that there was 4 cars because what does matter is what's the total profit. Yeah. So this is the profit going to the dealership. She gets 15% of that. So literally, guys, this is all you had to do. 15 divided by 100, we always do because it's percent. You multiplied your decimal with this number and you were done. You did not have to worry about the fact that there were 4 cars. You would have seen this if you had done the review. So 1548.6. So go back to your test. That's all you had to do was take the percentage of the dollar amount they give you. We didn't have to worry about how many cars there were because again, they give us the total. Doesn't matter what the profit was for each individual car. We just wanted to know the total. So go ahead, go back to your question, try it, percentage times the dollar amount. Okay, number 6. So as you're reading this, hopefully you go, oh, this is one where I need to take the total number and split it up. Now, it's not going into 40 and something else because this is an overtime, right? The first number is always the first thing they tell us here. So this would have been 50. Now, I believe for everybody, I kept this the same. I kept that 50 the same. So it would have been 50. And then what's left over? Now, in this case, the 90 is going to get split into 50. Here's 90. There goes 50 and 40. Once again, though, if you look at your test, you have a different number for the number of shirts. So I recommend pause the video, go back to your test, and see if you can tell how to split yours up. Your first number will be 50. The second number will change because this number should be different. So here we have 2 numbers, and conveniently, we have $2 amounts. $6 per shirt means to multiply. $9 per shirt means to multiply. So in both cases, the 6 comes first. It goes with our first number. I multiply because it says per. The 9 comes second. I multiply because it says per. So I would multiply these two numbers together. This is 300 and this is 360. That should be right. Yeah. And then, as always, with this breakdown, we add our answers together in the end. So go back to your test. Look at the numbers you had. See if you can follow along with this and try it on your own with your numbers. Okay, number 7. So guys, this one again, it looks scary, but you should go blah, 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 blah. Hey, pension, and then you should have remembered, because we went over this was one of the last lessons we did. We have a formula, so I'm going to ignore pretty much everything it says and focus on filling in this formula. It does tell you in the question how to do it. However, the formula makes more sense. Even though it tells you how to do it in the question, I'm going to follow along with the formula. So I need the percentage. Now, I know it says percentage, which is right there. But it doesn't matter, guys. Every time 2.7 divided by 100, it literally does not matter the context. You will always use the decimal version of your percents. Times the number of years, in this case it was 28. Times, I need to calculate the average pay. So again, I do this off to the side. Average of 3 numbers, we're going to add them together and then divide by 3 because there's 3 numbers. Now, everybody has the same numbers here because I didn't change this. So adding all 3 of these numbers together is 1,856.50. Sorry for my handwriting. That's adding all 3 numbers, and then I'm going to divide by 3. So I get 61,883.33. Everybody should have gotten that average because I kept those numbers the same. So again, that you have to do what it says to do. It says average. You would look here and be like, well, we don't have the average. We have to figure it out. Add them all, divide by 3. That's doing an average. Again, if I had 5 numbers, we would add them all and divide by 5. We're dividing by how many numbers there are. So the last step is just to multiply these all together and get your answer. But because these numbers are different, I want you to go back to your test. This average is going to be the same for everybody. Again, I kept that the same, but the percent changes and the year changes. So go back to your test, try this with your percent and with your number of years, see if you can get the right answer. Okay, number 8. This was the hardest question, guys, for 2 things. 1, you wanted to remember that healthcare is weird. We see a percentage, but for healthcare, it's in reverse. Now, it's not actually because it's healthcare that we divide with the percent here instead of multiply. It's because of the way the question is phrased. However, for time purposes, I'm not going to go over again why. I've gone over now several times why we divide. We're going to take this amount, 145. Now, again, your amount is different, so you need to do it with your problem. Divide by. Whatever your percent is, you're going to take your dollar amount and you're going to divide with it. There is a reason why. However, I don't want to explain it right now because I've already explained it several times. Healthcare question, divide. So 145.34 divided by 0.12. So this is what you get. Again, your number will be different. However, I bolded this. This is from her weekly peg check, and we want to know the year. This is going to happen often, guys. When we see different time periods in a question, we need to do a conversion. This is a week because we based it off of this weekly number. We need to get to the year. So how do we go from a week to a year? How many weeks are in a year? 52, and we should multiply. and then you have your answer. So it's possible, because I can tell, if you divided by 0.12, if you divided by your percent, but did not multiply by 52, I gave you 1 point. So to correct it, just take your answer and multiply by 52. If you know that you divided by the percent, you just need to multiply by 52. So again, look back to your test, see if you can use your numbers and get the right answer. Divide by the percent you're given, multiply by 52. Okay, 9, Social Security, guys. Once again, Social Security is on your formula sheet. It's hard for me right now to emphasize the formula sheet so much because I'm not standing at your desk. Normally, if I'm walking around the classroom, I can be like, get your formula sheet out. Get your formula sheet out. Hey, where's your formula sheet? But I can't force you. So you have to listen for when I say things are on the formula sheet because they can help you. All you had to do for Social Security is take the percentage of the smaller amount. They give you a percentage and $2 amounts. You take the percentage of the smaller number. So that's it. Percentage of the smaller number. And then you're done. I ignored this one. Again, there's a reason for that. Again, with Social Security, we have a maximum income that can be taxed. So if you make above that income, only the max will get taxed. So percentage 5.17 divided by 100, 0.0517, check in your calculator, times the smaller number. That's all you had to do. So I want you to go back to your test, look at the $2 amounts given to you. Whichever one is the smaller number, that's what we take the percentage of. Go ahead and try that on your test. Okay, the last one, guys. This one was just a straight percentage problem. For Medicare, which is also on our formula sheet, Medicare does not have a maximum. It is just a percentage of the income. You're done. Here's income. Ashley made. That means this is her income. And this is the percentage, 1.29% of, hey, income. So I'm going to show some more time, guys, because a couple of you missed this question. And I think it's because you still do not have internalized, being able to look at 1.29% of 84,529 and going, oh, I can do that. I just get the decimal and multiply. It has to be that quick. If I ever say, take a percentage, get your percent as a decimal, multiply. That's it. 1.29 divided by 100 is 0.0. That was another thing, guys. If you got 1 point here, it's because your decimal is in the wrong spot, because you probably did not multiply 0.0. You probably left that 0 off. Of is a multiply word, guys. Of translates to multiply. We got another by now. And then you have your answer. So go back to your test. Look at the numbers you have. Get your percent as a decimal and multiply, and you're done. So as always, guys, obviously you had this whole video to walk you through stuff. But if there's any that you're stuck on still, if you're looking at the correct answer and you're like, I'm trying it, I'm still not getting the right answer, even though I watched the video and saw what to do, let me know and I can help you out real quick.